So let me show you the book first. Right, so this is the Vagabond briefcase. Let me just take that away for a moment. And it is, I can't remember what size it is now. I know it's 10 inches. I can't remember by what. I think it must be 10 by 8. Yeah. So 10 by 8, which is kind of the back, this back bit, okay? So that's 10 by 8 inches. But obviously it's quite wide. Have I got what? Oh, I don't know. He thinks he's gone to the door. So it is made entirely out of card and paper, because I know that there's a few people who thought that this must be fabric, but it isn't. It's actually all made out of grey board and some of the pattern papers, and then we've got a few bits and pieces that are metal, but other than that it's all very easy to put together, I can assure you. So on the front here we've got a couple of little pockets. Oh, there's Mel's charm hiding. We've got a couple of little pockets here that are closed by magnets with our D-rings, and they open up, and they do have some photo mats, just little tiny photo mats inside them there, and they're kind of accordion pockets, so they do expand a little bit so that you can get a little bit more in, but they are actually functioning pockets with photo mats and such like in there. Okay, so that is the front. Let's just close that up again. Oh, love magnets. Right, so to keep it closed, we're actually using one of these, I can't remember what they're called. Is it it's some sort of handbag clasp. Anyway, this was Mark's bright idea because it wasn't working the way that I did it. So I'm going to give Mark the credit for this, and it's absolutely perfect.
I will take it down.
So one thing that you'll notice as well with this book is that I've engineered it into within an inch of its life, because this back handle actually folds. It has to, because otherwise you couldn't open up the book. It wouldn't sit flat. This would keep breaking. So there are a few little things that we're going to have to do to actually make the book work. So we've got here, so when we open up the book, we've got it opens up. You have to excuse the bits. I haven't finished putting my clasp together. That's Mark's job, not mine. So the book opens up, and you've got these two side pockets here. Then we've got basically four, you've done this 1,000 times. This is hidden hinge binding for 4 little sort of mini books that just fit into them there as well. And these all come out separately. And they're all slightly different, but space for you to put your photos and such like. Okay, so enough of that. I think it's time to get on and start putting our book together. Now, what I want to do today is I want to put the front on, the sides, the top and the back. We're not going to be doing the hinge tonight, and we're not going to be doing any patterned paper decorating tonight, okay? I just want to get the basics started. So if I just put the book together, you will notice as well that it does have some magnets on these inside bits here, which just kind of holds it all in one place. So let's get started. Right, okay, so I need you to get your grey board. Okay, and we're going to cut out our grey board first. So let me just grab that. The grey board, if you've had a kit, is it's all the same width. It is the 1500 micron, so it's quite thick, but not as thick as it could be, just thick enough to be a solid book. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out our front and back covers, and these are 8 inches by 10 inches. Now, if you want to draw it before you cut it, that's fine. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm just going to way that I do it. Now, I would suggest as well that if you're crafting along with me tonight, do just be careful. There's nothing difficult about this book, but obviously we need to get our measurements right. Okay, so I'm going to cut out my front and my back now, and I'm going to cut those at 8 by 10 inches. So I just used my, oh, I just remembered I broke my knife earlier. Oh, it wasn't very good, was it? I don't know if I've got any spare blades.
You haven't.
What, is the one in the...
You haven't.
Oh. I'll have to use a different knife. I have a whole selection. Oh, there's a bit of the book there. Let's try that one. Now, with this book, I am going to assume that everybody is a complete and utter novice. So if I'm going over things that you already know, I apologise profusely, but I want people to get the absolute best out of this. So when I'm cutting grey board, a little tip for you. This is a case where little and often is actually the key. So when I'm cutting, especially with thicker chipboard or grey board, I do lots of sweeping cuts rather than trying to get through it all in one go. This is much better in terms of accuracy, but it's also much better for you and your arms, because you don't want to be getting fatigued or sore wrists. Not, what's it? Is it RS? Yeah, RSI, that sort of thing. Keep all your bits. I use these instead of foam squares because they don't gunk up my scissors, so I always keep those. Now, another little tip for you is I like to write on my covers where there's more than a couple of pieces, you know, where it's like if I was making like just a book like that, I wouldn't bother writing on them what they are, but when I've got a few pieces, I like to write on it what it is. So I'm writing front cover on that bit. So I'm going to cut out my second one now, which is my back cover, and that is exactly the same size. It is 8 inches by 10 inches. Now what we're going to do with this book, which we haven't necessarily done previously, is I'm literally going to do every step with you, down to the decorating and everything. Normally I'd just say to you, know, you go off and do this bit, do that bit, whereas there might be a little bit of fussy cutting for you to do on your own, a bit of homework. The rest of the book we're going to do it together, because despite the fact that we're using 3 packs of pattern paper, it is still quite tight. So we will actually do that together. Sorry dear, you're going to say something?
Together.
Together? Oh, you want to be together. I can't see what I'm doing here. Why? Because I'm using my knife. I'm using my safety ruler.
No, I apologize for that. It's just the fact that you can't see.
No, I can't see. I've lost my good ruler though. The ruler that have you moved it? Because I cut it.
That flat one?
Yeah.
That's in the dining room, isn't it?
No, that's the meter ruler. Okay, so that's my front and back cover cut. Now I want to cut the very bottom of the book, the flat bit at the bottom, which is going to be 10 by 2.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 10 inches first, because we have a few, well, all the pieces are 10 inches.
Well, except the one that
Oh yeah, well, most of the pieces are 10 inches. Yeah, apart from the ones that are 8 inches. So I might as well get them all out of the same piece, or near enough. Okay, right, so I'm going to cut the bottom, which is 10 by 2.5 inches. So this would be, if this was an ordinary book, this would be the spine. So your spine is 10 by 2.5 inches.
Everyone's concentrating, they're really tired.
Are they? Ooh. Okay, so that's my bottom bit. Now I want to cut the top flap, which is 10 by 4 inches.
Ryan's watching with a glass of bubbly.
That sounds like a plan, as long as you're not cutting anything.
Celebrating, so just watch it.
Okay, so that's my front top flap. If you are playing the drinking game, I've said flap once or twice now.
Are they done?
Okay, so now all we need to cut is your side bits, the bits that fold inside the book, and I want you to cut 2 at 8 by 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches first.
Oh, it's Lorraine Daniel's wedding anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary, Lorraine. How many years? Or don't we ask? That's not a rude question, is it?
She's asked so.
So I'm cutting 2 at 8 by 2.5 inches. Now you're going to have a piece of chipboard left over, grey board left over. You're going to need it. Not tonight, but you are going to need it, so don't start getting book happy and using it for something else.
37 years.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Well, congratulations. Why are you here? Shouldn't you be off doing something more exciting? Although I can actually understand that probably tonight there's very little else exciting going on than, you know, making this book. Because, you know, it is the Vagabond briefcase.
I need to move these forward, please.
I still haven't opened the straws.
Because she can be, and hubby doesn't mind.
Oh, well, no wonder you've been married for 37 years then. I'm very impressed. Right, okay, so I'm going to do something a little bit differently than I did on my original now, and I'm going to show you why. Because quite often when I make a book, after I've made it, I think, well, I could have done that a bit better. And then that's you know, the way that we do it in class is often my way of putting it together properly. But here's a perfect example. This back cover here, if you're, I don't know the word's perfectionist, but here I've actually I haven't covered it. I haven't covered the edge of any of this back piece. It's just still chipboard coloured. So I want to change that. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out some strips of card and we are going to wrap it around the edge. Not the bottom bit, we don't need to, because that's going to be covered by our hinge. And we're also going to do it on 3 sides here. Now I covered that whole piece in black card, and I realised that there was absolutely no need to do that, so we're not going to, but we are going to wrap some of our sheets now. So what you'll need to do is grab some of your black card. This will save you some card as well, so it'll give you some extra bits. Oh, let me just move the phone. So I want you to grab some of your black card, and I want you to grab your trimmer. Oh, just move some things out of the way. And I want you to cut your card into 2-inch strips. So probably about four or 5 pieces of card maybe. Let's see how we get on.
Libby says it's another book she feels it needs to make. What are you doing to her?
I'm very sorry. I'm not actually. I'd like to say I'm sorry, but I'm really not. You're going to like the Bloom Street 2 when it comes out, Libby. Been working on that this week. I realised, see, in my head, Bloom Street 2 is going to be an 8x8. And in my head, that was much, much smaller than Bloom Street 1. Except Bloom Street 1 is 6x8. No. 6x10. Or is it 8x10? 6x...
6x. The first numbers you said.
Six and 6.5 by 10. It really isn't that much smaller. I've got another top tip for you in a minute. However, I feel that rather than being a top tip, you're going to say, well, for goodness sake, Cal, I knew that. How did you not know that? But I've been having some real problems lately with making pages and not having them end up the right size at all. So I'm cutting a page, say 8x8. And when I've scored it, it's all like, it doesn't fit together properly. It's all wrong. It just doesn't fold right. It doesn't sit right. It's just a complete and utter disaster. And I cannot figure this out for the life of me. Yes, I know. How many years have I been making books and I don't know what the answer is? Well, actually, I do. Because I lost my bone folder. The paper, the one that you use to, you know, to crease, to mark your folds. So, because I couldn't find it, I picked up an embossing tool that I had lying around, as you do, and I used that to score. And it's quite a narrow one. I'll show it to you in a minute.
How many strips are you cutting, did you say?
I don't know, about 4 pages. I might have done 5. It's probably too many. About 4 sheets worth. Yeah, we can always cut more. So I'm using this embossing tool to make the creases in my card, and suddenly everything works perfectly. And I know why now. Please don't laugh at me. I love this scoreboard. As you know, this is my favourite. Love it to bits. But look, can you see here? This is my creaser. And it used to be that shape. But through prolonged use, I've worn it out. And that is what has been throwing all of my measurements off. So here I've got one of these embossing tool things, and I'm going to use the narrow one. Now you have to be a bit more careful with it, to be honest, because it does tend to jump a bit, but it's made all the difference. You wouldn't believe it, that actually using a metal new tip has got all my measurements right. So yeah, I know you guys probably know that, but I didn't, and it's just incredible. Right, so now I'm going to score. What I've done is these are 2 by 11 3/4, because it's British A4 size. So I'm going to score on the 2-inch side. So that means that my 2-inch bit's at the top of my scoreboard, and I'm going to score at 1 inch. Okay.
1 inch.
So I'm just going to pull my embossing tool all the way down. Just do that again. Oh, hello.
I found one letter comment. How rude.
Oh, we've had so many problems with that. It was so quiet without Ellie. Well, Ellie thinks that it was Facebook, but the truth was we just decided that we stopped commenting. We didn't. We didn't.
Where is she anyway?
I don't know. No wonder it's quiet. We've got no Ellie. So I'm just scoring these all the way down the middle at 1 inch. I think it's at 1 inch. I can't see. It'll be near enough. It's not the end of the world if it's not exactly at 1 inch.
Oh, and McDonald's with us as well.
Oh, hi, Anne. I was watching you this afternoon, Belinda, with Olga. I love her hair. Actually, I love both of your hair. The hair of both of you. That sounds like you've only got 2 hairs between you. You know what I mean. I'm just going to do all of these. I might not need them all, but I'm just going to do... Actually, I probably won't need them all. Oh, that'll do for now. We'll leave those for a second. Right, okay, so now I am going to fold them in half. And they fold so much easier now using that metal tip, but that thing, it's amazing. I'm just going to make sure I've got a good crease. Because getting a good sharp crease will give you a good professional looking edge. You what, sorry?
Your little bonus scene collection.
Yeah, we've got some back in the shop, by the way. We ran out of small bone folders for quite a while, but I've just restocked, so we've got big and little bone folders back in stock. You could put a link in. I keep forgetting we're in our own group today. We can do what we like. Mind you, we do what we like anyway, to be brutally honest. Right, nearly there. I've probably done far too many of these, but it doesn't matter. You've had a kit, you've got plenty of card anyway, far more than you're going to need. Right. Okay. Bottom of book doesn't need anything. Put that to one side. Let's start with the easy one. We've got our back and front cover. Now we only need to put this oh no, we do need to put it round on all 4 sides, and all 4 sides of this one, and all 4 sides of that one. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this now. I've done this before when I've been box making, and I find that if I'm going to put my
Hannah says, do we have any cutting knives?
we do. If I put my card on there like that, so it slips round the edge.
Is that the X-cut one?
Yeah, the X-cut ones. Those are the ones that, well, don't use an X-cut knife. I like my Fisker's knife, but I always use X-cut blades. I think they're absolutely incredible.
Oh,
so I've just made a little mark here.
okay.
Where, no, not you. Where that's going to go around the corner. So when I've made a box before, what I've done is I've just snipped this kind of little V shape out here. Okay. So that when I glue that on there, that will now fold nicely around the corner. I haven't cut it up far enough. It'll give me a nice sharp edge. Don't cut it off like I'm about to. Be careful how much you cut it. Right, so I'm going to put some glue. Oh, now I've got new glue. In honour of a new book, I got new glue.
Crack a new one open.
I'm trying to. Oh gosh. Right, so I'm gonna. Oh yeah, you can tell it's a new one. Ugh, gloops everywhere. Never mind. Yeah, I know. So putting some glue on there, it's far too much.
How old are you? 8.
Yeah, I know. This is why I don't work with children, because I always use too much glue. Some adults do as well. Okay, so I'm going to fold that now round that corner like that. Ugh. That's my fault for splurting it everywhere. Don't use as much glue as I did. Okay, so pop that on there, and now I'm going to measure to where that bend is. So I'm just going to snip, probably leaving about 1/8 of an inch at the top where it's still attached. Cutting out that V. I'm going to chop a little bit of that off. Put some glue on.
Kim says hi. Kim Arjo.
Oh, hi Kim. I like the was you put up that dancing baby earlier, wasn't it? That was quite cool. Okay, so you can see that what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of adding like an edge around my covers.
And Rekka says hi.
Hi, Rekka. I think the hole's too big in the end of this. Splitting out glue everywhere. Oh, I should have cut a bit off the end of that. Never mind. Okay, and the last little bit for that one. Okay, so that's the edges all done on that one, and I'm going to do exactly the same on my back cover. So I'm cutting a little V shape. It is really warm.
Maybe is there a kit for this book?
There is. I haven't got many left though. I think there's only about 3 or 4. I'm sure Mark will put the
full kit.
Yeah, there is either the full kit or there's just the hardware, the metal bits that you need.
If I can spell.
Oh, I haven't put that on very well. It should be both. Definitely some left. You found it?
No.
Have a look under new in. Right, let's just chop a bit of that off. Learnt my lesson this time.
And the hardware kit.
Vagabond briefcase, full kit.
Yes, I found it.
Oh, I say I know it's in there.
It's in the new in, but I don't know why that doesn't turn up in the search.
Don't know. Bit weird.
Just send something to South Africa. we?
No.
No.
South Africa's a funny place to send to. I don't understand. It's quite expensive and I really don't understand why.
Yeah, they've got high rates of import duty.
Yeah. I think India's the worst place. It's horribly expensive to send to India. I don't know why.
Because it's, I don't know.
Because it's not, you know. I mean, Australia isn't that different to America in terms of cost. But South Africa and India are really quite pricey.
Oh, rude crap. And Mel went and came back.
Oh, Mel's listening to the radio, I reckon.
It's on your phone. It's not
She
ping,
should
ping,
be.
ping, ping.
Ooh, right, I'm getting there. Okay. Where have I just put my... Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's done. Now we've got the top flap.
Bernadette says, watching Calcutta Eddy, someone might have already asked, but could I use black book tape?
You can if you can find decent book tape, but because I've been using book tape and I hated it. My God, I made the recipe book box that we did. I made it the same way that I'm making this now, then I thought, oh, book tape, great answer. It had been recommended to me so many times, and I don't know if I just had a duff one, but I did not like it at all.
Plus stuff doesn't stick.
It didn't stick. It felt really wishy-washy, but I think it must just have been what I was the brand I was using, because I understand that some really good brands out there. So I want to give it another go. But if they're all like that, I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I like things to feel like they're going to last forever.
Are we edging the back cover too?
Yes, the back cover, the front cover, the sides and the top flap. Basically, it's everything except the bottom bit.
Down to edge your bottom. Jane uses quite strong black construction tape.
Well, the construction tape that I got, like I said, I really didn't like it.
Yeah, Anne could have used the Sticks 2 tape and disliked it.
Yeah, have you tried anything else, Anne? I hated it. Which is bizarre because their adhesives are by far and away superior to anything else I've tried. But I did not like the construction tape at all. This is probably a little bit more time consuming than just covering them, but it does give you a consistent finish. Nearly there.
Yeah, we always find glue more permanent, don't we?
Definitely.
Fancy Peaching, I've got my popcorn and Pepsi, very relaxing, like watching a really good movie.
Ooh, I don't know. It's not that exciting. So if this was the film of our life, Mark, who would play you? Jason Momoa. I knew you were going to say that. I'll play myself. That was that sigh, wasn't it? That was that sigh.
No, just bit my tongue, that's all there.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when I eat it.
Okay. Somebody was asking in, I can't even remember where it was, sometime this week in one of the groups, about if you know, been, if you, for a living, if you worked for a living as what you'd wanted to be growing up, what would you be? And mine was an actress. So, you know, I could play myself. You don't sound very keen on that idea, dear.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you can.
So who would you have playing me then?
You only want to play yourself because I'm being played by Jason Momoa.
Well, yes, obviously. So who would you have if you were playing yourself? Who would you have playing me? Don't say me, because that's just cheating.
The trouble is, no one can hold a canvas here, don't you?
Oh God, you're such a smoothie. Jason Momoa is just not. He's just never gonna come close to you, really, is he?
No.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
I can't hold my breath quite as long as you.
Oh, now I'm going to have to do some more quick scoring. Oh, I don't know what I've just knocked off. Something important, probably.
Karen's just looked him up. He's gorgeous.
Jason Momoa. He is. He's nearly as gorgeous as Mark.
Oh, Ellen Barker's going to Google him now.
Oh.
He's going to be trending on Google now.
He is. See? Such an influencer. My friend Sarah bought me a present. And I think it's here. Hang on. I know I'm taking my time over this, but I've got to show you this. Oh, I'm doing something. Right, look. Here it is. Because I keep it on my desk. Look what she bought me. A Jason Momoa colouring book. I haven't started it yet, but I do have a flick through every now and again. And I've got an absolutely brilliant mug, but I can't tell you about that because it's rude. I might use it next week.
It says she thinks she needs to do some drowning.
Oh, yeah. Just drown in his eyes.
What? Sally's put the way you ripped Tyvek, you wouldn't need Wonder Woman to play you.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Gal Gadot. Come into the night.
I've just realised we didn't actually have to do... We did only need to do 3 sides on the front and back cover, but it doesn't matter, really. It'll probably look better doing all of them, but if you haven't started and you've watched this far and you're not starting till tomorrow, you probably only need to do 3 sides, but that's okay. Right, nearly there.
Libby says she needs to see this new ribbon tie deck.
I think it. Which one's it in?
There is a video.
Yeah, there is a video, but it's part 3 of Fairy Wings, isn't it?
No, not Fairy Wings.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Because that took me by surprise as well. Oops, I nearly cut all the way through that. Yeah, I think it was Fairy Rings,
Gary
part
says
3.
he's obviously been locked down a long time. His hair is longer than mine. Hers, that is. Not as long as mine.
No, Mark's got very long hair.
Office hours. That's it.
Office hours, that's it. Yeah.
Part 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, because Mel was watching it at the weekend.
Yes, and she was the one who said it.
Oh, of course. Damn, did I put you off on the... Did I send you off on a wild goose chase almost? Ha ha ha. This is like watching paint dry for you all, isn't it?
Glue.
Yeah, glue.
It's alright, I've got a few floral gums to keep me going.
Oh, you still got them. I still haven't opened the straws. Oh yeah, so you have. I still haven't opened the straws.
I know, I noticed.
Sorry.
I had to hunt iron low for those.
Well, I think 3 kilos was just a little bit ambitious. I don't think even I can eat 3 kilos.
No, but you can eat 1 or 2 of them.
Well, I could do, but you know, if I open them up, won't they just go like hard or something?
I could see all of that.
I don't know. It's all too complicated for me. We will get through this tonight.
You do know his wife is older than us.
I know. It's a funny story, actually. Apparently he had a crush on her when he was much younger.
Mm.
And he decided when he saw her that she was going to be his wife. And he made a point of making sure she became it, which is actually a little bit creepy, if I'm being brutally honest. It is.
Libby says she's happy to share your straws.
Oh, there's 3 kilos of them. I don't know where they are. Do you know where they are?
What?
The straws.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do? I don't. Where have you put them? Are they in our bedroom?
Yeah.
Although, was it Tracy we were talking to? No, who were we talking to about those nice ice creams? Because we had one of those tonight, didn't we? Nuvi or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Wendy read that the first shopper to your new Haribo store is a lover of straws too.
Oh.
We haven't ventured yet. Oh, it was chaos around there tonight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a new outlet centre open just down the road.
That outlet.
Yeah. It's not exactly our thing, is it, dear?
Yeah, right on my
right
journey home.
Yes. Not our thing, however, they do have a Haribo shop and a Lindt shop. Which might be worth a look at some point, I suppose. But Not anytime soon. I've never been into labels. Unless it's paper. You know. Okay, so I don't even think that's remotely straight. It is now. Right, okay. Right, so that's those all covered. That last one exceedingly badly. I'll have to fiddle with that. Okay, right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start putting this together. So what I would suggest we do, the first thing that we do, is we're going to do what confused Diana most terribly when I talked about a card Tyvek mix. Now, if you have got a kit, you have got 2 pieces of black Tyvek in your kit. Oh, that's not paper. Well, it is.
Sally Wood just discovered straws, but she thinks there's a printing error on the bag. It says a portion is 2 straws.
What? Load of rubbish.
How many portions you got in your bag?
2. Right, so I want you to grab 2 pieces of card. And what we're going to do, oh, sorry, Jason, he's stuck to my Tyvek, is in your kit, you've got 1 piece of white Tyvek, or you've got a piece of acetate, and you've got 2 pieces of black Tyvek, so they're black one side. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to your card. Now, Tyvek. Tyvek is usually used in house building, and it is a breathable membrane. You can tell I've told you about this before, but it's particularly brilliant for bookmaking purposes because it's very, very strong, so it strengthens your spine. And in theory it doesn't tear, but that's a complete load of rubbish, as I have proved. Pardon me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach our Tyvek to our card. Now, I'm going to use my honking chonky tape. It's just wide. But I will tell you that to do this successfully, you have to apply your tape absolute edge to edge. You don't want any gaps, and this is one of the few occasions when tape is the answer and not glue, okay? So attach your double-sided tape to your cardstock as close as you possibly can.
I'm all wanting to know, are you sure it's good quality, terrible? I need a demo.
I can't give you a demo because I'm busy. Right, so I'm going to just add a little bit of thinner tape there. The black one, you definitely can't tear the black one, I'll tell you that for nothing. Let's see if I've got any left at the end.
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no? Right, okay. So, Mel's very good at this. We had a retreat a couple of years ago and I got Mel to do this for everybody. Oh.
What side is the cardstock?
What now? What size is it? This is English A4, which is 8 1/4 by 11 3/4 inches. I believe A4 differs in the US. I think it's a bit bigger.
No, but I don't think they call it A4.
Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, in England it's in the UK even, sorry. It's 8 1/4 by 11 3/4 inches. But if you look at the thing, you kind of...
We're going to be cutting it down.
We're going to be cutting it down. Right, so there is my double-sided tape. Don't use glue. Glue won't work, by the way. You need to use tape for this. Right, this is where it all goes wrong. My black Tyvek is white one side, and I'm going to put this white side down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in this bottom right-hand corner, and I'm just going to put my finger on there. And I'm going to lay that down on top. Wow. Smooth it out. Careful how hard you press when you're smoothing it out, because if you've had the kit, because
smooth it from the other side then.
Yeah, smooth it from the other side might be a good idea, because the black is printed on, and you will end up wrecking some of the black. It doesn't matter, but anyway. Right, so that's one piece, and I'm going to need the other one as well, so I'm going to do the same again.
It's all rinse and repeat tonight, isn't
It is. It'll be worth it.
it? It is. Especially for the tie back to come on.
Oh, I'll glue that over. Oh, never mind. I managed to break most of my nails today, so I apologise profusely. Not that I ever have nicely manicured hands, but they're particularly bad today. I've just restocked this honking chonky tape as well, actually.
Bizarrely, I've just put a link up to
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, goodness me. You and I are so in tune with each other, dear.
Yeah, dear.
No. What time is it?
It's 8:30.
Oh, crikey. It's going to be a long one tonight. Sorry. Probably be about 9 o'clock before we finish.
Luckily, we've had tea.
We have had tea tonight. Yes, it makes a change, doesn't it?
No.
Okay, so same procedure as last year. I'm putting my Tyvek on top of my card.
So you can do twice again?
I can.
You can.
I can.
You have.
I have. And let's smooth that out.
Smooth.
Okay, now need my trimmer. And I'm going to cut one piece at 10 inches by 5 inches. Now I'm just going to cut off these ends here.
Belinda's going to get another GT.
That sounds like a good plan. And I'm just going to cut a little bit off here because I want to just make sure that this is straight. Right, so I'm going to cut this at 10 by 5 inches. Okay, there's one. And now I need to cut two that are 8 by 4.5 inches. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Just chop off those end bits. Cut that down a little bit with so 2 at 8 by 4.5.
Mine's going to be just having another bottle of bubbly.
Sounds good to me.
She's having a whale of a chat.
If I just cut that to no. Okay, so you're going to have one that's 4.5 and one that's a bit thinner at 4. Don't worry about that. 3.5, 4. It's not going to matter at all. Right, so grab your scoreboard and we're going to start off on the one that is 10 by 5 inches, okay? And I want you to score. Now be careful, because I'm going to score on my Tyvek side. But you need to be quite careful, because my Tyvek side is going to be the inside of the book, okay?
Which one are you scoring first?
This is the 10 by 5 inches. And I'm going to score at 1 inch. Do be careful, because you will mark it, not that it matters particularly. Might use the wider one actually. I'm going to use this one. Right, 1.5. Two. Two and a half. 3, 3.5, and 4 inches. Okay, now these ones that are 8 inches, I've got this one that's 4.5. You can just cut it in half actually, because they're not, it's not going to matter. Right, so let's just go on the 4.5 inch one first. So I'm going to score at 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 3.5. And then on this one that's just that bit thinner, I'm going to start at 1/2 inch, 1.5, oops, 2, 2.5, and 3 inches. Okay, right. Now we're going to put these bits together. So I want you to grab your piece of white Tyvek, and I want you to grab the bottom of your box, of your book, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this at 10 inches. Do not throw away any of these offcuts of your black card and Tyvek, or any of your white Tyvek either. You're going to need it. Okay, and then we can cut this at 5 inches. So 10 by 5 inches for the white Tyvek. Okay. Now,
10 by 5.
10 by 5. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to stick the bottom of our book to the Tyvek. So I'm just going to put some glue on, and I'm going to put this in the middle like that. So I've got Tyvek wings on either side of my grey board. Okay, like that. Now here's where having a mat comes in useful, because we're going to start lining things up. Oh, bollocks. I should have put a black edge on here. Yeah, before you do that, put a black edge on here, just on either end of that. Where's my scissors? Let's quickly do that. Okay. Where's my pokey tool?
On your desk.
What do you think?
It will.
Yeah, no, but you say it's here, but it isn't. Oh, there it is. It was half on the desk.
Okay.
Right. I'm just going to put one on the other end as well. Let's just cut that down. Right, let's do that again. So I'm just going to stick some glue onto the bottom of my grey board. And I'm going to stick that into the middle of my white Tyvek. Okay, right, now I'm going to line this up on my board here, on my cutting board, because it'll make it much easier for me to put this together. So just like as if I'm making an ordinary book now, I'm going to take my cover and I'm going to line this up here. Make sure it's straight, and I'm going to leave a gap here of, oh, I don't know, about just over 1/8 of an inch. Make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to turn that round because I'm left-handed and awkward. And do exactly the same with the front cover. Let's make sure it's straight. And I've got my gap. There we go. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab these side bits, and these are going to go on here and here, and then there's our top flap to put on as well. So if you put that to one side to dry for the moment, and I'm just going to fold this round just gently, just so it curves a bit. This will get better at folding as time goes on, because it'll get more used to how we want it to be. So it's always stiff at the beginning. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this front flap onto this Tyvek piece up to that first score line, okay? So I'm going to put some glue onto there like that, and I'm going to attach this front cover, the front top flap, up to that score line like that. Okay, so this is going to be the front. I'm going to see the cardstock on the front of it. Okay, So now I'm going to have to attach this, not that it matters which way round it is, to the top of my back cover. So I'm going to put some more glue on the other side there, like that. And I'm going to attach this as if it was a kind of a gatefold, I suppose. Up to that first score line. Oh, a bit slippy because it's on Tyvek. Like that. So when this is all dry, that's going to form the front of my briefcase, okay? And this, like I said, this will fold better the more we kind of put it together, all right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach these side bits. We're going to do it in exactly the same way. So I'm going to put some glue up to that first score line. And I'm going to attach that side bit there like that. Glue up to that first score line. And attach that, I don't know if you can see this, is it? It should be in shot. Like that up to the score line there.
Wendy says she's happy for a version in House of Roses.
Well, you can do it, Wendy, I ain't. Okay, so that, when it dries, will fold round. But we'll worry about that when it's all dry. We just need to get it together at the moment. So glue up to my first score line. Attach it there. Oh, slippy. I know this is a bit out of shot, but I can't move it at the moment. But you're gathering how to do this, I'm sure. You're just going to attach that other sidebar. So let me turn it round. What you've got now is you've got, this is the front flap that folds over. So that is that bit. Then you've got this, which is this bit. This is this. These are these front bits that fold inside like that. And then you've got your front cover as well. So what I need you to do is very carefully put that to one side to dry, because we're not going to do any more to that tonight, but we want it to dry carefully. So I'm just going to pop that over to one side for now on top of my Jason Momoa colouring book. And before I go, I just want to show you really quickly some of these other books that I've promised you. So there's the INSD book.
Linda says, this is so clever, you really are amazing, Cal.
Well, thank you. I'm not so sure. I'm covered in glue. House of Roses. And then the 6x6 Sunday books. So I'm going to leave House of Roses till last. So just quickly, just want to take you over our next 6x6 Sunday class. This will take place on Sunday the 2nd of May. And like some sort of idiot, this is International Scrapbook Day weekend. So we're having a whole event that weekend. And we're still going to be doing 6x6 Sunday. Now, I do have kits for this if you want one. but I've only got the Zoo Adventure left. We did briefly have a couple of Flora, but there we go. This is a little book. It's 4 by 4 inches, and it's very, very simple binding, and it's got little pull-outs in between each of the pages. Okay, so I have run out of the Flora. I only had a couple of them. It's a long story, but that's the Flora version.
Okay, long story. You only had a couple.
Well, yeah, I know, but it was because the reason why. But this is the one that I've still got left, which is the Zoo Adventure, and this is a little bit different, this one, because that book I had to design a book that could be made by people who'd never made a book and hadn't got any equipment. So that was what I came up with. This one, because we're all likely to have equipment, it's a little bit more... This is the one that we're going to be doing in class, and it's got a few more flips and flaps and stuff to it. So it's exactly the same book, but it's just using different papers. And in between each page, it's got photo mats. She says, can't put it back in now. Story of my life. But it's also got a few flips and flaps on it, which that one hasn't, but if you were lucky enough to get one of the Flora kits, you can still do it the same way. So this one is exactly the same. It's got all the little bits on it, but it's just got some extra bits where you can you know, add a few photos and little hidden bits of journalism, journaling, etc, etc. So that will be our next 6x6 Sunday class. Kits are just £15. They're in the shop now, and that includes your postage if you are UK based. Okay, so that weekend is a very important weekend to any of us who scrapbook, because it is International Scrapbook Day on the first Saturday of May, which this year is the 1st of May. And normally I do a face-to-face retreat where we all get together, but needless to say, thanks to COVID, that's not happening. We're having it in December. That's a whole other story. But we are doing an online retreat at home, which everybody is welcome to join. I will tell you now, there is a charge associated with that, which is £9.99 sterling, and that gives you full access for the whole weekend into that group, where we have a lot of challenges going on for scrapbooking, but we've also got other things as well, like card making, and there will be an exclusive mini book class with me on the Saturday evening. And this is the book that we're going to make, and I do have kits for this as well, which are also in the shop. It's a very, very, very simple little book. It's simply 5x5 hidden hinge binding, nothing special about that. But the AB Studio papers that I chose for this are so cute.
That's the retreat home mini book class kit.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. But this is about things that we can do to decorate up our books if we haven't got lots and lots of matching ephemera. So, for instance, I've made some more of these little paperclip things, which you might have seen me make before. And inside there's things like making some of these little rosettes, using our papers, cutting out bits, using staples. There will be a free download with all of these bits on if you don't have a kit, so you can still have access to that. And then some of these journaling spots as well that I've got here. So this is going to be the class on the Saturday night. We're going to do a bit of paper weaving and just a cute little book, I think. So that is going on the 1st of May. And then finally, because I know this is what you're waiting for, there is this little book, House of Roses. Oh, God. Tell you. This has been in the making. It's got to be for 18 months, hasn't it? Something like that. I don't do pink. I have tried so many versions of this book. I have made it so many ways and I didn't like any of them, so I reverted to a book design that I did a few years ago, which was this really tiny little mini, because I just couldn't get on with it at all. So if I told you that I had ended up really disliking this book for the very reason that I just couldn't get it right, I wouldn't be lying to you, but I had to find a way to love it. And the way that I love this book now is because this is the Wendy. From now on, this is going to be called the Wendy, because all the way through, I just kept thinking, Wendy will love this, Wendy will love this, and that's what kept me going. So this is the Wendy. I would normally have called it the House of Roses, but I'm not. It's going to be the Wendy. So here we go. It's tiny. It's really, really tiny. It's something like 4 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and it is full of layered up flowers, which are so cute, and just like it, this paper just is perfect for fussy cutting. It's just made for it. So it's quite a square little book. We've got some a pocket on the back with some photo mats, and then some of these gorgeous little cut aparts. We use some lace on the book as well. And if you're going to have a kit which will go on sale this Friday in the Scrap Lab, there is going to be a charm. Mel has actually designed a little charm to go on there as well, just a little drop one to go with your ribbon, which is just so cute. But it is a gatefold, so it's magnetised, but it does open up. And inside you have got, I think it's 5 pages. So on the inside cover here, what we've got is we've got some more little tiny photo mats, and then here what we've got is a belly band with photo mats, and then some of these little tags in there. And you will notice that it's got, if you have a kit, it's got some of these 3D printed clock faces in there, which Mark makes. And then in between each, you just, yes, good, because I need quite a few. Then we've got, photo mats in between each page as well. This page, it was just, well, this paper is so pretty that you can't not kind of cut it out and, oh yes, 1 or 2 of them. I need more than that. This book is about the paper because you can't not really. So here, this is just again, lots of layers, but we've got our photo mat in between the pages if you want to add photos to it. This page, I've forgotten to, I need to finish this off actually, I haven't. But this page is just like another policy envelope, so you can put little things in this pocket inside there. Magnet again, cut apart, lots of little flowers. This is a half size page, so if I take all the bits out of it, you'll see it's just a half size with cut aparts and photo mats and things on there that just slips into this. So even though it's a tiny book, it's got loads in it. And then this page here, what we've got are some flaps, so you can put journaling or photo mats under there, and you've got your tag there. And then on the back page, once again, we've got a little pocket. So that is House of Roses, which from now on will be called The Wendy. And kits for that are going to be £32, and they are going to be available in the Scrap Lab from 5 o'clock on Friday UK time, and I will put a link up when it has got when I've put it in the shop. All right, so classes for that are going to be on the Thursday though, because we've got so much coming up. So I'm doing these on the Thursday, and I can't remember when it is. It's sometime in May. So I hope you'll join us for those as well. And I think, now look at that, I said 9 o'clock and it's 4 minutes to 9.
You'll have to waffle a bit more than
well, I was thinking that I'll give them 4 minutes off. So if you've been making along with me tonight, leave your books to dry, don't mess with them. And next week we'll start to see it coming together. We're going to start with the hinges and things, and we will take it from there. Cool. So, see you Friday in the Crafting Together group.
Linda promises to have all their bits stuck together for next lesson.
That would be good.
Lol.
And then back here next Wednesday for some more of the Vagabond.
Oh, Mel says tell a joke to fill in.
No, you don't want him to tell any jokes.
No, you.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, no, because nobody will understand my favourite joke.
What? No, don't tell a joke.
All right, okay. All right then, guys, lots of love, and we'll see you back here next week. Bye.
Ooh.